Hey guys, Peter here to do an album review. Today I'm here to tell you all about the debut album from Tomorrow's Rain, Hollow, out September 11th on A&P-REACTS. This album has 8 tracks, 52 minutes in length. These guys are from Tel Aviv, Israel, and this is not your average debut album. Really well crafted, really well polished, really well put together, and a lot of that cohesiveness, a lot of that consistency comes from the incredible list of guest appearances that are featured on this album. A who's who of death, doom, gothic metal. There's only one song on this album that doesn't feature anybody outside of the band, and that is A Year I Would Like to Forget. Every other song on the album features at least one other guest musician. And you're going to see names like Fernando Ribeiro from Moonspell, Aaron Stainthorpe from Undying Bride, Sakis Tolis from Rotting Christ, Jeff Loomis from Arch Enemy, and there's Jacobsson from Draconian, just to name a few, but the list is a lot more extensive than that. As far as the record is concerned, I love what they created here. There's always a concern when you have an album with these many guest musicians that the songs will feel disconnected from each other, that there is not that red line across every single track that unifies the album as one, and this just feels more like a compilation rather than an actual album. I was wondering about that going in, but that's not exactly what I got once I started listening to the record. Obviously, having these many guest musicians on the album allows each song to have its unique fingerprint, to have its unique DNA. But the way each song was structured was done in such a way that all the tracks stay very connected to each other. Musically, the album doesn't change that much. There are some variations, either be in the melodies or how they're put together. Obviously, the construction of the individual tracks is different from track to track, which impacts the way the sound comes across on those songs. The solos or not having a solo, so that there are certain logistical changes, sudden structural changes within the tracks, which allows the album to be very unique on a track-by-track basis. But overall, when you listen to this record, there is definitely a soundscape fingerprint that is present on every single song on this album. So some of the ingredients are changing from song to song, but the cook is still the same. The overall idea is still the same. So the total output of the record is one of being very cohesive, very linear, very engaging from the first to the last song, and allows the album to feel as one and not a collection of songs, which is really important for a debut record. You really want to create your own fingerprint, your own sound, and not just depend on all the incredible guest appearances that they have in order to push the album forward and in order to really carry this album all the way through to the finish line. I felt that those guest appearances added value, they added presence, they added texture, they added layers to the way the songs are put together, but all the groundwork, the foundation of the sound, the foundation of the album, the foundation of how this record is put together, it's really kudos to the band and how they work and how they were able to create songs that intertwine with each other, either being by the theme or by the way they're structured or similarities in sound, which allowed everything else to be different and unique and still stay cohesive as one. So incredible job all around, and this, once again, this is a debut record. You normally don't see this kind of performance, this kind of collaboration across so many different artists on a debut record, and you definitely don't see this incredible outcome of an album that has this much diversity and still feeling as united as one single record can feel. So outstanding work from them. When you dive deeper into the sound, to me, within the guitars, there are two different elements that we have to touch on, because to me they're very important on how the overall record feels and moves forward from track to track. Overall, the guitars are absolutely phenomenal. I love the melody that they have. I love the melancholy that they carry. I love the transitions, the solos, the songs that don't have solos, how they interacted in a different manner. They created different riffs, different melodies in order to carry the song forward, in order to give the song the needed substance that it lacked without having a solo on it. But overall, the guitar work on this album is just phenomenal, really bringing that old school doom goth vibe to life in a very modern way, but still keeping the roots and the connection to the past of the genre, into all the great albums and all the great music that was done before them. So kudos to them on the guitar work from that perspective. The other side was they incorporated some more Mediterranean flavors to the way the guitars sound. Not in every song, which I really appreciate. I like the fact that they chose and picked different songs to do that. Otherwise would make the album very repetitive from a sound perspective, and you definitely don't want that on a Doom record because it already has this slow burning feel to it. If you start to use some of the same elements as far as the sound is concerned, then it really starts to become overbearing. So they use some of those Mediterranean flavor guitar sounds on some tracks, not on every single song on the album, and that to me was a winning formula because it added a flair, it added something different, it changed the dynamics of those songs, and then it balanced them out much better with the rest of the record that had more of a throwback, more of an old school style sound approach to it. So I really love that balance. It allows the record to just play a lot better, to be more engaging, to be more connective, and definitely to flow a lot better from song to song. Vocally, what can I say? This is just incredible record. I mean, first of all, you have incredible guest vocalists on this album. That alone adds a lot of substance, it adds a lot of texture, it adds a lot of presence, and in my opinion, it also brought a lot of the history of the genre to life. You really brought the cream of the crop on this record in order to really elevate the sound and elevate the overall presence of the album. Outside of the guest appearances, the vocals are still outstanding. They're still phenomenal. They still have that vibe. They still carry the genre. They carry the essence, the history of doom metal in that vocal style and in that vocal approach. So obviously the guest appearances elevate the record, but the band itself, the vocals that they have, just outstanding. Really matching the mood of the songs, the way the songs are constructed, the way the songs are put together, really enhancing the overall experience of listening to this record and to these 8 songs. Overall, this is in my top 3, perhaps even top 2 best debut albums of 2020. I have no doubt about it. It's going to be very hard for bands to reach that pinnacle of releasing a debut album this year and be this good, this polished, this well crafted. It just doesn't sound like a debut album. Like I said, it sounds like a collective. It sounds like a greatest hits. It sounds like a compilation. It sounds like anything you want to call it, but not a debut album. It's just really well put together, really well balanced. They looked at all the different portions, all the different elements that makes a great doom record, and they attacked each and every single one of them with precision, either be the sound, the vocals, the atmosphere, the structure. Nothing was left aside, nothing was left at chance. Everything was looked at through a microscope, and they just pinpoint precision. They just attacked each and every single one of them and delivered a very incredible debut album that in my opinion is really going to become an iconic record within the world of doom metal, at least present world of doom metal. This is really an amazing album top to bottom. Like I said, top 3, perhaps even top 2 best debuts so far of 2020. Now, as far as songs are concerned, I want to start off with Trees. This is the song that opens up the record. It features Shlomi, Bracha from Mashina. And this song is a great opening track because it gives you a little bit of a glimpse in terms of what you're going to get from the rest of the record. The guitar melodies are outstanding. It adds a little bit of more melancholy, a little bit more melody once the piano comes in. It doesn't stay for very long. It goes back out again, and then it comes back towards the end of the track. But I love every time that piano melody comes in, it just adds such great texture, such great life to a song that feels so dark and so gloomy all the time. The melancholic aspect of the track blends in perfectly with the beauty of the track and the peacefulness that comes from those two combining efforts together. The clean vocals also embrace that soundscape and really enhance it most of anything else. It really just brings that overall vibe to life. The song really keeps that melodic undertone. It increases in heaviness both musically and vocally, and I like that. It's a song that doesn't stay steady all the way through. You see an increase in intensity, you see an increase almost in aggression, but definitely in heaviness, both on the musical side and on the vocal side. And that is the dynamic change that a track like this needs, so it doesn't become very repetitive. I love this song across all parameters, and like I said, best opening track possible when you think of all the songs that are included on this album. Next, A Year I Would Like to Forget. Isn't that the expression for 2020? This is definitely a year that I would like to forget. It's such an incredible doom gothic song. I really felt that they went back into the vault and they created a song that really pays homage to all the great doom gothic metal tracks of the past. It just had such a great vibe to it, great atmosphere. It has this old school appearance, this old school flavor to it. It just permeates throughout the whole track, through the guitars, through the vocals, overall structure of the song, how everything comes together. It's a really well balanced track, both musically and vocally. The guitar solo is outstanding on this song. It really picks up the emotion, the brightness, the melody that the track has, and then it expands it. It makes it even brighter. It makes it even more melodic. It really changes a little bit of the dynamic of the song that's very gloomy up until that point. But with a solo, you just feel that everything that is bright about this track really gets enhanced and brought into the forefront. What a great track all around. Now, I saved the best for last. The Weeping Song. This is a Nick Cave cover. It features Anders Jacobsson from Draconian, Kobi Farhi, and also Lisa Cuthbert. This track is just outstanding. Outstanding. Best cover song of 2020 right here. I cannot get enough of this. First of all, I'm a huge fan of Nick Cave, and I love the original, and I honestly didn't think you could make a better one than the original. This is better than the original. I like the dynamic that this song has. The fact that you have a female vocalist on this track. The fact that you have different style vocals on this track. It adds more into the lyrics of the song. It brings the lyrics of the song to life. It allows the song to almost become a duet. It's not a duet because there's multiple vocalists on this track, but it gives you the feeling of a duet. It gives you a feeling of a Jekyll and Hyde song because you have darker moments as far as vocals are concerned, and you have definitely brighter moments as far as the vocals are concerned. I just felt that they grabbed the essence of the original track. They grabbed everything that was great about that song and they just turned it all the way to 11, making this song come to life, making this into a definitely a doom gothic track, really heavy, not necessarily from a musical perspective, but definitely from an emotional and atmospheric perspective. I just think the work around this track is absolutely magnificent. Like I said, a better song than the original just because of the dynamic that the different vocalists bring to the forefront and adds this sense of a conversation more than just listening to a track. So incredible job on this cover, best cover of 2020, and like I said before, this is in the top 3 at the most, best debut albums of 2020. Let me know your thoughts on the band, on the singles. I'm really interested to see if you guys agree with me or if you have a different perspective. Use the comment section below. I'll be reading those and getting back to you. Take care, guys.